Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 17th. If you are working from home, make sure that you are emailing me if you have any questions or messaging me on Schoology. Today, we are starting our new unit, which is called What Matters. If you scroll down to our Quarter 2 folder, it will take you to the next page, and you will see that in this week's description, November 16th through 20th, we have our assignments for the day. So we're going to start with our intro to What Matters, and we're going to watch a video. We'll read Freedom of the Press, and then you will have a short assignment. What I'm going to ask you to do first is I'm going to ask you to open up the assignment. So you can click this little arrow here, and you will see the assignment is right there for you. When you click on that, it will open up a document for you. And we are going to start just with this question. So you'll see on your document, our first question is, think about something in your life that really matters to you. It could be something you are willing to work hard for and never give up on. What would you be willing to give up to achieve this goal? An example of this might be that you really want to grow up and be a doctor someday. And if you want to achieve that goal, you're going to have to spend a lot of time studying in high school and in college. So you might have to give up some of your time in order to make that happen. I want you to think about something that really matters to you. And I want you to go ahead and take a second to write down what it is that matters to you and what you would be willing to give up to achieve this goal. And I'll give you about 30 to 45 seconds to write that down. When you have a goal, one of the things that you are going to have to decide is whether or not your goal is worth sacrificing things for. And that is something that we are going to be talking about during this unit. We're going to be reading about what matters to many different people as we go along. What I would like you to do next is go back to ClassLink, and we are going to open up our textbook, which should be right next to Schoology. It should take you to this dashboard. If for whatever reason it tries to take you back to a sign-in page, just make sure you go back to ClassLink and you click on it again. We're going to click on My Perspectives Grade 8. Yep, so it's going to make me log in. So I'm going to click Continue. I'm going to exit out of this, and I'm going to click on it one more time. We'll go through the same process, and it should work this time. All right, remember to get to our textbook, we have to click the green area to get to My Perspectives. We're going to click on our textbook. And when you click Open a New Window, it's going to take you to the Unit 1 homepage. We are actually skipping over Unit 2 and going to Unit 3. And I will show you how to get there. Okay, so you will see the Rites of Passage page. To get to Unit 3, we're going to have to click on Menu. We're going to have to click on Table of Contents. And we're going to go to Unit 3, What Matters. And let's go to the Unit Introduction. All right, our essential question for this workshop is, when is it right to take a stand? Whether they're fighting for the right to become a pilot or drink a soda, people are inspired to take action to defend the issues that matter to them. These actions can be small or big and personal or political. This unit has been designed to allow you to explore a range of different issues that have caused people to take a stand. As part of the intro, we are going to watch a video about a young lady who did just that. Her name is Malala, and you might recognize her and her story.
I'm told that become a doctor, become a teacher, which is fine, but like girls can also become leaders, and girls can also become change makers, and girls can also become activists. And I found like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to change things, and I want to speak out.
मेरा नाम आकांक्षा है, मैं गर्ल्स एडवोकेट हूँ.
My name is Zainab Abdi. I am an advocate for girls' education, and I work as a refugee immigrants youth ambassador.
My name is Peace Ayo. I am an advocate for girls' education.
My name is Melanie Antes, and I advocate for education and gender equality.
For me, becoming an activist was finding a new path in my life. And for me, that was realizing that I can actually have an impact through using my voice. To all young women and girls around the world who want to do something, who want to bring change, all I would say is you have to be the first person to be confident in yourself. You have to be the first person to accept yourself, and you have to be the first person to applaud yourself. That's how you start developing confidence. That's how you start developing this sense of rightness and truth in your cause. Oftentimes we think that you have to grow older and like be in a position or like have some certain number of degrees or something to be able to bring change. And I realized that no, you can still have an impact whatever age you are.
Advocacy is about raising your voice to do change. I got in advocacy because I didn't want people to speak on behalf of me, because I got a voice that I want to share. I have a story that I want to tell people about, because I want certain change to happen to my country and around the world.
मैं चाहती हूँ कि हर लड़की शिक्षा प्राप्त करे और मैं इसके लिए काम कर रही हूँ.
And that's the message that I want to spread across the world. Do not let anything stop you. Start speaking out now about the issues that you are concerned about. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to our channel, share, and comment, because we want to hear your stories too.
Malala is a great example about how someone who is not yet an adult is able to make a massive change in our world. And we probably will be talking more about her as we go through this unit. All right. For our intro, before we read Freedom of the Press, we are going to look at some vocabulary. So if you are on the assignment for today, you're going to see that there is a vocabulary table. What I would like you to do is I would like you to take a moment, and I would like you to look through the words, and I would like you to come up with a meaning for the word based on the context clues in the sentence. Your words are retort, candid, rectify, speculate, and verify. You should be reading the mentor sentences, and if you need some extra hints or some extra ideas about what those words might mean, go ahead and use your resources so that you have a working definition of these words, because they will be in our texts. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to read Freedom of the Press. This selection is an example of an argument, a type of writing in which an author states and defends a position on a topic. This is the type of writing you will develop in the performance-based assessment at the end of the unit. So as you read, you're going to look at the way that the writer builds a case. We're going to think about what answers this question. What is the writer's position, and how does he or she support it? All right, so we're going to click on this article. It's a pretty short one, so we are going to read along. I would encourage you to click the hide button at the top so we can see more of the text, and we will begin.
Freedom of the press. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution gives newspapers, magazines, and other publications the right to print whatever they see fit, without interference from the government. The framers of the Constitution felt that a free press is vital to a democratic society. This important idea breaks down when schools are involved. As it turns out, there is a difference between free press and high school newspapers. The difference is technical. The First Amendment prevents the government from censoring the press. However, private publishers can censor whatever they want. Since schools and school districts pay the student newspapers' publication costs, they are private publishers. This means that they can edit information as they see fit. They can even refuse to publish some articles. This is a tough lesson for budding journalists, some of whom have challenged the restrictions. One case even made it to the Supreme Court in Hazelwood School District v. Kohlmeyer. Here are the facts. In 1983, students at Hazelwood High, a public high school near St. Louis, Missouri, saw 2 pages missing from their school newspaper, The Spectrum. They found out that the principal, Robert Reynolds, had removed 2 of the articles after finding them unfit for publication. One article, about teen pregnancy, contained interviews with pregnant students whose names were changed. The other article dealt with divorce. Principal Reynolds said the pregnancy article was not appropriate for a high school audience. He was also concerned that the girls' identities would have been revealed eventually in such a small school. His problem with the divorce article was that it was not fair and balanced. He felt it criticized parents without providing their side of the story. Some students were outraged and sued the school. They argued that the issue was not the content of the articles, but whether or not the school had the right to suppress them. In 1988, the Supreme Court ruled 5-3 in favor of the school. The ruling said that while students do not shed their First Amendment rights at the schoolhouse gate, no school should tolerate activities inconsistent with its basic educational mission. In other words, when student expression is school-sponsored, it can be censored, as long as those doing the censoring have valid educational reasons. The law now varies from state to state. States that disagree with parts of the ruling have their own laws that govern students' freedom of expression. We are now left with these critical questions. Is it fair for some students to have greater freedom of speech in their high school newspapers when others are subjected to censorship? What does this situation say about us as a society and a nation? The framers of the Constitution believed that if governments could censor opinions they did not like, the public would be less educated. Given that schools are places of education, it seems counterproductive to limit students' free speech. The more opinions they are exposed to, the better equipped they will be to handle the issues they will face later in life.
All right. I know in social studies right now, you guys are talking about this topic. So I just want to remind you that when they talk about free press, they're talking about the First Amendment in the Constitution. And so that First Amendment reads, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. If you go to your assignment, you're going to see you have some questions about this. Again, you're going to think about the information that you learned in freedom of the press. What argument was the author making and how does he or she support it? After that, you're going to be writing a summary of freedom of the press. Remember, a summary is not your opinion. You are just restating what you read and giving the facts. Your summary should be at least 4 sentences. And after you are finished with that, the last thing you're going to do is think about the things that you read and watched today. Is it important for people to make their own choices in life? I would like you to think about that question and explain why or why not in at least 4 sentences. If you have any questions, make sure you send me an email or message me on Schoology, and hopefully I will see you soon. Take care.